The story begins in 1978 inside the home of a Navy officer named Walter. One evening, two young girls knock on his door selling Christmas gifts. His wife, Nancy, answers and is touched by their sweetness. She tears up, telling one girl she's the most beautiful child she's ever seen, then sends them off. Fast forward 10 years. Walter has retired from service, carrying the heavy burden of losing his entire team during a failed mission. One night, he's woken by noises in the house. Grabbing his gun, he discovers a burglar inside. A struggle breaks out. Walter is shot, but the intruder falls from the property and dies. Feeling responsible, Walter secretly disposes of the body himself. The next day, we meet Buddy, a struggling insurance salesman. He lives with his wife, Lisa, and their newborn. Buddy is desperate to earn more money, while Lisa offers to help financially, though he insists she stay home with the baby. Before heading out, he tells her he'll be back before a storm hits and warns her not to leave the house. Buddy's job leads him to Walter's place. He introduces himself as the carpenter sent to fix the fence. Walter offers him extra money if he finishes before the storm. Buddy accepts and gets to work, while Walter heads back inside. Moments later, Nancy comes down to confront her husband about his drinking. Walter lashes out, shoving her and warning her never to speak to him that way again. Shaken, Nancy distracts herself with a drink. Outside, she notices Buddy working and goes over to greet him. She offers him something to drink, and he politely declines, but the exchange sparks tension. Distracted, Buddy accidentally injures his finger. Concerned, Nancy insists on helping him inside. She tends to his hand, and there's undeniable chemistry between them. Walter observes closely, smirking at Nancy's obvious attraction before storming out to drink more. Later, he drunkenly shows off by lining bottles on the fence and shooting at them from the roof. Buddy finds the display arrogant but keeps his head down. The storm arrives earlier than expected, forcing Buddy to stop work. Walter pays him only half, since the job isn't done. Buddy accepts, but when he tries to leave, his car won't start. With no choice, he calls Lisa from Walter's phone to explain he'll be stuck there for the night. She worries, but he reassures her. That evening, Nancy prepares dinner for all three. The mood is tense. Walter keeps pressing Buddy with personal questions, especially about his marriage. Once Nancy steps away, Walter leans in and accuses Buddy of being attracted to her. Buddy tries to change the subject, but Walter's smug tone makes him uneasy. When Walter finally passes out in his chair, Nancy takes the chance to suggest a house tour. As they walk through the rooms, Buddy notices something unsettling. The basement door is secured with three heavy padlocks. When he asks about it, Nancy nervously laughs it off, saying bad things are kept down there. Her shaky tone makes it clear she's hiding something. They end the tour near her bedroom, where she changes clothes and then tries to seduce him. Buddy pulls away, afraid Walter might catch them. And indeed, Walter briefly stirs awake, but finding nothing suspicious, he drifts back to sleep. Buddy quickly retreats to another room for the night. Later, the storm rattles the house. Buddy wakes to find Walter eerily watching him. Walter invites him into his weapons room, where he begins to open up. He shares the story of his Navy unit, how he missed their final mission due to injury, and how he has been drowning in guilt ever since. His life, he admits, feels meaningless. Then Walter's confession turns darker. He says he doesn't love Nancy, and worse, he's often thought about killing her, but never had the courage. Finally, he makes Buddy an unsettling proposition: $200,000 if he does it for him. Walter argues that Nancy is terminally ill, already suffering from cancer, and would die soon anyway. With that kind of money, he says, Buddy could give his daughter a future and escape his financial struggle. Walter presents his offer as a mercy killing. To make it easier, he even hands Buddy a small bottle of poison, explaining how to soak a cloth and smother Nancy with it. Buddy takes it reluctantly, but his hesitation is clear. Later, he runs into Nancy in the bathroom, and the two share a personal conversation. Buddy opens up about his rough past, losing his mother at 6, his father imprisoned for alcoholism, and how he had to raise himself before building a family of his own. Nancy, touched by his resilience, admits she's fallen for him. The tension that's been simmering finally erupts, and they cross the line together. But later that night, Nancy finds the poison bottle Buddy accidentally drop. When she questions him, he reveals the truth. Walter asked him to kill her, claiming she was dying of cancer. Horrified, Nancy insists she's not sick at all. She realizes Walter only wants her gone out of jealousy and rage. Furious, she vows revenge. Nancy storms upstairs, confronting Walter as he works on a window. He ignores her, hammering away. Suddenly, she stabs his hand with a knife. Walter screams, yanks it out, and slams her over the head, knocking her unconscious. Now it's Buddy's turn to face him. Armed with a gun, Walter orders Buddy to finish the job and use the poison. Buddy pretends to obey, but then attacks instead. After a violent struggle, Buddy knocks him out, grabs the car keys, and plans to escape. Before leaving, Walter warns him that unless Nancy dies, he'll never stop hunting Buddy and his family. At that moment, Nancy wakes up, declaring she loves Buddy and begs him to take her with him. He agrees, but Walter taunts them with one last secret. He tells Buddy if he really wants to know who Nancy is, he should check the basement. Against Nancy's desperate pleas, Buddy opens the locked door. Inside, he makes a chilling discovery. A weak teenage boy hooked up to IVS, surrounded by eerie dolls and strange symbols. The boy whispers that Walter and Nancy kidnapped him and begs Buddy for help. Meanwhile, Nancy secretly frees Walter, preparing him to strike again. Walter storms into the basement, but Buddy ambushes him and flees. As he runs through the house, Buddy crashes into Nancy, then scrambles away into Walter's weapons. Desperate, he arms himself, but the pistol he grabs is empty. Walter bursts in, and the two engage in a brutal fight, trading blows until Buddy rams a broken bottle into Walter's back and shoves him off a ledge. Believing he has the upper hand, Buddy races for the door, but Nancy attacks from behind, knocking him out. When he regains consciousness, everything is twisted. He's in a police car accused of killing the boy from the basement. During interrogation, Buddy pleads innocent, describing the locked room, the victim hooked to drips, and the strange Chinese markings. The detective dismisses his story as nonsense and urges him to confess. Things get worse when Lisa, his wife, arrives. She's devastated, convinced by the police that Buddy betrayed her with Nancy and may be guilty of murder. She tells him she wants nothing more to do with him or their child. Just as all hope seems lost, another investigator presents new evidence, a case from 1978 involving a missing girl who was last seen wearing a dress covered in Chinese symbols, exactly like the fabric Buddy described. Finally, the police take his claims seriously. They raid Walter's house, break into the basement, and uncover the truth. Grotesque dolls, disturbing evidence, and the long-missing girl. Nancy is arrested, and Walter is caught trying to slip away. Buddy is cleared and released. Though free, his life is in ruin. When he tries to reconcile with Lisa, she's hesitant, scarred by the betrayal and trauma. Buddy struggles with his shattered mental state, but just as he begins to rebuild, disaster strikes again. At a cafe, he hears gunfire outside. Rushing out, he sees Walter, somehow still alive, holding Lisa and their daughter hostage. Walter demands Nancy's release in exchange, but the police reveal she's locked in a psychiatric hospital. At the mention of his lost Navy unit, Walter snaps, charging recklessly at the officer. The standoff ends in a hail of bullets, finally putting him down for good. In the aftermath, Buddy spends months recovering in the hospital. Lisa, seeing his suffering, slowly chooses to give him another chance. They reunite, hoping to rebuild their lives. Nancy, however, faces conviction for abducting children, her twisted actions driven by the fact that she could never have her own. And that's where the story ends. A dark tale made even more disturbing by the fact that it's inspired by real events.
End the movie. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out our other recaps and subscribe for more content. And leave comment below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.